Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On. We're halfway through 2020 and there's been so many great games that have come out on Xbox already. But it's fair to say we have a few favorites in the team. So in this video, we're going to take you from January to June and on a tour of some of our top games of the year. But make sure to let us know in the comments if we missed any of yours.
Kicking us off is a game from January which, well, a little detective work will tell you that it's not exactly a new release, but Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment's Redux is worth grabbing your magnifying glass for and giving a close examination. It's a collection of 6 cases, half a dozen murders and assorted mysteries, some adapted from Conan Doyle's original stories and some that are brand new, but all puzzling enough to twist the melon of the great detective himself. I love that the big man himself is a true jack of all trades, because it means that this game has it all. When you're not sleuthing, you're taking down sailors in an arm wrestling match, or maybe you're sampling the period's fashion pieces. And in true Sherlock form, his savage put-downs of his suspects are just too good to miss. Plus, the overarching plot that is bridged by the 6 playable cases totally reminds me of one of my all-time favourite games, L.A. Noire. So it's one for fans of that title, no doubt.
I'll tell you what, this game is not only sensational to play on its own, but playing it on stream for you guys in the Xbox On community has to be one of my highlights of 2020. This game has all the twists and turns you'd expect from a classic criminal whodunit, but wrapped up in the Sherlock world that we know and love. In this game, it's all about picking up on the tiny details that might lead you towards cracking the case. So for example, if you pick up a ring, you'll need to rotate it in every angle to get a complete view of any hidden details you might have missed, like a name, a date, or even a hilarious joke. And if this sounds like your sort of game, then make sure you throw on your flat cap and head over to the Microsoft Store for hours of crack detective fun.
Arriving in February and checking itself straight into the Xbox Game Pass library was a game that had us a little bit lightheaded. 2 Point Hospital is the ultimate medical management sim, where you build your own hospital, manage your staff, and combat some unusual illnesses you'd never expect to see on Casualty. You'd think having a light bulb for your head is bad. How about getting a pan stuck on your head or turning into a Picasso? And yes, the cures aren't any less unorthodox. I spent many years of my youth playing Theme Hospital on my really old family computer, so not only is this faithful spiritual sequel scratching a nostalgic tycoon itch for me, but it was ported fantastically from PC to console this year with mouse and keyboard support. Unfortunately though, I did have to stream it with Henry as well this year, and some of his management tactics are questionable at best. I'll leave it there.
I'm sorry, but we have to make money here, Charlie.
We need to make ends meet.
It's May 14th, summer holidays coming up. We need to get enough so we can afford a Butlins break. Not messing around here.
It's time to set things right. 141. Going up.
On the 10th of March, we were treated to the surprise launch, well, more or less, of a game that really puts the Royale in Battle Royale. Call of Duty Warzone pushed the player count to 150 and introduced new mechanics into the mix, including the contract system, which sees you completing tasks to earn some much needed cash to spend at the buy station to get some kit to help you win the game. Since then, over 70 million players have dropped into the city of Verdansk, and the Xbox On squad's been right there alongside them.
Personally for me, what makes it one of the best games of 2020 is it's one of the most polished battle royales out there, with the quality gameplay you'd expect from Call of Duty, but filled with great moments like winning the 1v1 in the Gulag to be respawned back into the game to the relief of your teammates. And even having the ability to customize your loadout through loadout drops that can be bought or appear at set moments within a match, so you can get your hands on the weapons that you want to use. Warzone, if that counts, it's Call of Duty but on a huge scale. All the rush of a standard Battle Royale format, but with some brilliant tweaks that bring in what you love about classic Call of Duty. Plus, the Gulag is genius.
It still blows my mind that Warzone is free to download. I mean, this is a hugely expansive addition to the COD universe that was a much needed refresher to the BR genre. That signature frantic gunplay mixed with the dynamic objectives that the in-game contracts offer mean that it's always a new experience every time you drop in. And did I mention it's free?
Just one day later, we got a game that's equally brilliant while being about as far from Warzone as you can imagine. Developed by Moon Studios and proudly published by Xbox Game Studios, Ori and the Will of the Wisps arrived on the 11th of March. which just so happens to be the 5th birthday of the original game, and this beautiful sequel built on its predecessor in every imaginable way. Once again, you play as the bouncy little guardian spirit of the title, this time on a mission to rescue Q, a baby owl, when she's swept away from her adoptive forest family and into the clutches of some considerably less cute and friendly foes. But for me, what makes Ori such a great game is it is one of the most gorgeous titles that you're ever going to play. The music is also incredible, and you just find yourself getting lost in the world. Also, the abilities that you gain throughout playing the story so you can improve your movement system. And also, how can I forget the time trials, where I'm a very competitive person and will spend hours just trying to shave off a couple of milliseconds off my time.
Oh my god, he did it!
1745, let's go!
Who are you? A human to defy our traditions.
Will of the Wisps wasn't the only brilliant sequel out in March, however, because Doom Eternal let us raise hell once more as the iconic demon-destroying, BFG-wielding, Hellgate-closing Doomslayer. God, what a sentence. Featuring an epic campaign and an innovative multiplayer that lets 2 players step into the roles of marauders, Mankubi, and a ton of other nasties we've spent decades sending back to hell. If running and gunning against the spawns of evil to a heavy metal badass soundtrack is your cup of tea, Doom Eternal is definitely going to be your jam. Only a few games in the entire world have genuinely made me whoop out loud when I do something simple with their game mechanics, but the delicious combination of metal music, violence, and ridiculously oversized guns had me cheering in delight throughout my entire experience. Especially there's a bit where you throw a grenade in a thing's mouth and it explodes and gunk goes everywhere. That's great. Just play it, lads, trust me. Okay, let's stick in March for just a little bit longer, because it also brought one of the year's best bits of DLC. Borderlands 3 is a game with about a bajillion guns and loadout combinations, some wild and wacky characters, and plenty of additional content to keep making it even bigger. The release of Guns, Love, and Tentacles is the second piece of DLC for the game and made this masterpiece even better by adding a new story campaign, new locations, and of course, new enemies. With Borderlands being one of my favourite game franchises of all time, I've been super eager for more DLC following from Handsome Jack and Moxie's Casino drop at the end of 2019. This new DLC centered around a gay marriage between 2 of my favourite NPCs, some otherworldly cult leaders running around haunted graveyards, and the return of one of the best vault hunters in the entire series. And no, I'm not biased because I rolled her in Borderlands 2. And to me, that all makes a perfect DLC combo.
We need help. My men cannot do this alone.
Okay, we've made it to April and now it's my turn to talk about Resident Evil 3 Remastered. I'm a huge horror game fan and I love the Resi 2 remake, so I knew I had to play it when this came out. Returning to Raccoon City, you mainly play as Jill Valentine, on a mission to save the city from the deadly T-virus, escape hordes of zombies, and outrun big old Nemi in his trenchcoat along the way. Jill is one of the best characters in Resi history, smashing the survival horror glass ceiling when she was first introduced to the game, and she's never been cooler than in this remake. I fell in love with Jill and Carlos so easily, and I love the spooks and tension the game builds, and the puzzles you have to solve.
Now, Call of Duty Warzone wasn't the only Call of Duty game to come back to Xbox in 2020. The remaster of Modern Warfare 2's campaign dropped on April 30th, letting us experience this blockbuster FPS classic all over again. Ice climbing, battling on the White House lawn, some of the most memorable betrayals in gaming history, it's all here in glorious 4K 60 frames per second for anyone playing on Xbox One X. Now, as a Call of Duty fan, this is just one of those campaigns that you have to go and play. It's filled with some of the most iconic characters in Call of Duty history, so many incredible moments, and it's also filled with some of the most iconic weaponry in Call of Duty history that you're going to get your hands on in Call of Duty Warzone. So if you haven't already, make sure you go play this game.
Syndicate has to answer for what they did. And this time, we're taking the fight to them.
Oh On the 22nd of May, the patron saint of open world gaming blessed Xbox with the remaster of Saints Row the Third. Create your own hero as the game takes you and the Saints from street gang to household name in a gloriously, ludicrously, silly crime epic that's been given one heck of a graphical upgrade. The Saints Row series are easily some of my fave games, and the remaster of 3 is stunning. Such a wild and goofy game that I am literally loving replaying right now.
The next game on our list is one you've probably heard of already, but just in case you've been living under some bedrock all year, Minecraft Dungeons is an action-adventure dungeon crawler based in the Minecraft universe. You can explore procedurally generated levels, defeating waves of mobs and scooping up awesome loot, all of which can be enchanted with unique properties to make it your own. And thanks to a co-op mode that lets you do all this with friends, this has quickly become a favourite among the Xbox On team. For me personally, I grew up on Diablo 2, so it's the same sort of game, but built in a universe that we've all grown to love. It's fantastic, but let's hear more from the rest of the Xbox On team.
So, everything I love about dungeon crawlers like Diablo and Torchlight, mixed with the most unique aspects of both OG and unseen Minecraft, seamlessly blended into an authentic Xbox and PC experience chock full of replayability, new weaponry, and challenging gameplay. Oh yeah, you better believe I love Minecraft Dungeons. Plus, it was another super easy game to grab 1,000 gamer score in. Thank you very much.
Gorgeous voxel-esque graphics and visuals aside, I just love the pure randomness that bleeds into every aspect of the game. Your build is fluid and will change as quickly as the loot drops. Not to mention, it's actually infinitely more fun playing it with your mates. I mean, you get to see effects chain off of each other and cascade into this magical show of light and sound, and it's just so wonderful. It makes you feel really powerful together.
Which brings us to the halfway mark of the year and another absolutely banging bit of DLC that came to Xbox in June. Greymoor is a brand new chapter for Elder Scrolls Online that took us back to one of gaming's most iconic locations, Skyrim. Now, whilst the base game and Morrowind chapter is available on Xbox Game Pass already, in this expansion it's all about getting your goth on as you fight to stop a powerful vampire lord and maybe even join the ranks of the undead along the way. It is a must play for any Dragonborn out there. One of my favourite games in the whole world is Skyrim, and I've played loads of ESO when it first came out a few years ago. So to have them do a full chapter in Western Skyrim is awesome, and the DLC chapters are always huge, like a full new game. A couple of us on the Xbox On team have been playing together at night and taking on those dungeons. Defo recommend to any Elder Scrolls fan and MMO fans.
So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching our roundup of our favourite games of 2020 so far. Be sure to check out more of our content by clicking one of the videos right here, and we will see you next time. Bye.